Yeah, welcome to SAS Enterprise Guide tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be taking a scenario to analyze the request of a company CEO. Let's take a look at the scenario. You've been asked by the CEO of J. Robbins to provide an overview of the company's profit performance based on the key business indicators such as product line, product categories, country, customer's gender, customer age, and customers group. Additionally, the CEO has ordered that profit performance be separated by year from 2010 through 2014. Now, what we want to do in this tutorial is to segment the J. Robbins sales profit by year and use the key business indicator to know how the profit is achieved by these indicators, and also to give an overview of the company profit performance on each of these key business indicators. That is, we have two major focus: the overall profit performance and the performance of the profit per year, 2010 through 2014. Now, we'll open this SAS Enterprise Guide. We go to new projects. So we go open projects. I've got a file. Got a minute. Sorry. Okay. Right. So sorry. What you do is you go to data. So there's an Excel file called profits here. You open this profits. Then the next thing we look at, this information is right. Where do we, the source and the destination? Next. So rename column to comply with SAS naming convention. Yes, so as to meet with the identifier rules of SAS. Next is to look at the overview of the variables in the data sets. So there are basic things I want you to look at, which is the data structure of this profit data set. Now, the first one is that every ID variable should carry a string, not a number. So as when we are looking at the descriptive statistics of this data, you will not have a conflict of information. So the first one is order ID. I'm going to change it to strings. Then products. Okay. I can go on. Okay. Product ID. Product ID. Taking it to strings. What other? Okay. Now we've got another ID here, supplier ID. Let's make it a string. Okay. We've got customer ID. Let's make it a string. Okay. What other ID have we got in this data set? So I think that's all for now. So the next thing we do, we go to next, then you click finish. Now we've gotten the data sets, and these data sets look quite nice, but we can look at it. It runs from 2010 through 2014, which is what has been described from the CEO. And also, the first thing I always encourage every analyst to do is to get the proper distribution of the data set. How do you do that? Is to go to describe, You go to characterize data. On characterize data, you have this. You go next. I need the summary report. I don't need the graph. I don't need so many information. So I can take this out. I can take this out. Then I go to next. Then this is a summary report. So let me just let's take about 10 data points. Finish. 10 data points. Now, this is the results. You can see the key business indicators, customer age group. This is how it is distributed. The customer country, see how it's distributed. The gender, male and female, how it's distributed. We don't need information about this customer ID. So what I did was I forgot to change this. Okay, to change this customer ID to string. If I've changed it to string, it will not have display in these categorical variables. That's the essence of changing every ID to string, because it doesn't make sense looking at the frequency for ID, because it's unique, it's a primary key. So the name, so now let's go to the numeric variables, which is very important as well. The age, you can see the age distribution. This is the mean value, the minimum value, the maximum value, 73. Now, the quantity also, you can see we have 617 transaction for the duration of 2010 to 2014. And the profit as well. This is the total profit, $54,167.97. That was what was made by J. Robbins Company in the year 2010 through 2014. Now, this is the maximum profit that was made on transaction, and this is the least. So, and the least they made was a loss, and this is the mean. So you can see it runs through. Look at the other date. It runs through 11th January 2010 to 26th December 2014. So this gives a better description of the data set. So the next thing we're going to look at is to run the query and have an overview of how this data set is distributed. Now, before that, we are going to look at two concepts. Since we are segmenting this data set into years, and also we are segmenting this profit performance by product categories. So we are creating two prompts. We will use the prompt manager to create two prompts. The first one will be for the date, and the second one will be for the the key business indicators, talking about the product categories, product line, the country, the gender, as specified by the CEO. Now, from here, you can see this third icon there is the prompt manager. Now, we can add prompt. The first prompt I want to add in this is to add the prompt for the product, the key indicators of the business. So let's call it select category. Then in this, put select key business indicator. Select key business indicator. Then require a non-blank value, yes, to avoid missing values. Prompt type and value, you click this. Now, we are dealing with the key business indicators. These are variables. So the prompt type is now going to be variable here. So the next thing you do is to load the values below. You load the values. How do we load the values? So now there's an icon here, which is for the profit. You open this up. Now, these are all the variables in the data set. Now, we are working with the key business indicators specified by the CEO of the company. Now, any other indicator that is not specified by the CEO will be deleted. So like order ID, you can go back to the scenario, you can see the key business indicator, product categories, country, customer, gender, and so forth. So order IDs that was not specified by the CEO will be taken out. Order ID is out. Product ID out. Product line is in. Category, product name out. Supplier ID out. Supplier name out. Customer ID out. Now, these are the key business indicators that have been specified by the CEO. You can click default value. You click product line to make it default value. Then you click OK. Now, a prompt has been created here. Now, I'm going to tell you the essence of creating prompt. The essence of creating prompt is to use the prompt to filter the data sets based on specific requirements. Now, let's do the date prompt as well before moving ahead. So the next one is to add again. Now, let's call it date range. Date range. Now, we can put select date range from the data. And we click require this. We go to prompt. Now, in this time now, we are not dealing with variables, but this time we are dealing with dates. Now, we have two dates here, the date and the date range. Which one is preferred here? Since we want to segment between year to year, so we'll use the date range. That is 1st of January 2010 to 31st of December 2010, and so forth like that, based on how you want to filter that. So with this, we are okay. The next thing you do is to click OK. Now, all said and done, the prompt manager is ready. Now, let's try to apply this to the data set. Now, the first thing is we want to look at the performance, the profit performance of the organization per key business indicators. That's the first thing we want to look at. That's the overall profit performance. Now, if you recall, we've gotten these data points. Let's double click these data points. Okay. Let's double click this data imported from Excel. This is the converted data point. Double click this. This is it. That comprises all the years that runs through 2010. Now, I can come here and rename it. Let me give it a name. Let me rename it. Call it profits. J. Robbins profits. Yeah. It's called J. Robbins profits. Now, I'm done with this. Let's have an overview of the profit performance. Now, how do you do that? Is to visualize this. We can either visualize this using a pie chart, a bar chart, any descriptive statistics charts. So you go to graph. Now, the first one is to let's make use of bar chart wizard. Now, this is a bar chart wizard. We go to next. Now, the bar should, let's select the prompt we created, select category. Now, what do you want to filter? We want to filter profits. Now, there is a sigma sign here. So, is it the average or the sum? Let's look at the average profit on a bar chart. Click OK. Then the next thing you look at, you go to next. Let's use the 3D bar or bar so that it should have colors as well. Data label should be average. We are looking at the average. You can put percentage if you want to put percentage. I think percentage relate very well, but we'll use percentage somewhere also. We use average. Now we go next. Now let's put J Robbins profit performance 2010 through 2014. Sorry for my cap lock. By the category now. So now, since there is a prompt we've created, you can use the function ampersand, then select, remember the name, select category. Now let's go to the footnotes. We don't need information about the footnotes. We take this up, so you click finish. Now you can select different key indicators as specified by the CEO at this point to know the profit performance. I can decide to use the product line. I click run. J. Robin profit performance 2010 through 2014 by product line. You can see this. This is the performance for the duration of sales. You click refresh. Let's make use of the product category this time. Now let's make use of country, so that I think there's an insight to that. Country, you can see the sales performance. AU is Australia, Canada, Denmark, Israel, and so forth like that. South Africa, ZD, and every other information. You can see the distribution. So if you refresh again, you can still get the performance based on age group. You run as well, age group. So this is what we can present to the CEO as the overall performance. And I believe a question will be posed at us at the end of this by the CEO to further investigate the causes of certain trends. Now, the next thing we can do as well, let's look at this data set again. J. Robbins profit, double click this. Now let's represent it. Now you remember we work with the average. Now this time around we want to use sum, but in this case we'll be using the pie charts. So you go to graph, pie chart, wizard, pie chart wizard. Click next. You select this, select category by profit, then you click this sum. The sum is okay in this point, so we use sum. You go next, we use 3D. The percentage should be in the circle. Then we'll move next. Put J Robbins sales performance 2010 through 2014 by categories. Remember, you have these. Select, that's the variable you created in the prompt, category. Now the footnote, we don't need the footnote. You can take this out and you click finish. So you can select age group. Let's use the age group as well. You run this. Now the amount here is the total amount. But remember, when we use bar chart, it was not the total amount. We use the average. Now JB profit performance 20. We need to amend this and make it an average, so that it should be obvious to the CEO that is the average profit. So you can go to modify tax, you go next. Now JB Robin average profit performance. You click finish. Yes, run by age group. Now, it's obvious now. So the next thing we are going to do is to run this analysis by year. We run that of 2010, we run that of 2011 through 2014. Now, how do you do this as well? You go back to the J. Robbins profits as created here, you double click. Now, for each year, we'll repeat this process. So we have the data set, you can see it runs through the year. So you go to the query builder, you click query builder, then what do we do? On the query builder, you put J. Robbins 2010 query and put J. Robbins 2010. You save. Now you take you can see this, you drag this icon and drag it to the select data point here. Then you go to the filter. Now on the filter, we select other dates. Push this way. Then the operator we are using in this case is the dates range. So which is going to be in a range. That's the prompt we are going to use, in a range. So you select this and select the date range. Next. Click finish. Then you go to the sort. Now let's sort by dates. We are going to sort this by dates in an ascending order, which is okay. Ascending order. You click run. You click run. Then you can select from this. Just select any year there. So the major thing is to know how to type this. 01 January 2010. Then we put 31 December 2010. So we are running the sales and the profit from 2010 to 1st of January 2010 down to 31st December 2010. You click run. Now you can see this. We've got 2010 all through in this. All through. So from 31st, and the sales started 11th of January. So how many data points have we got in this? You've got what? 128. And what you can as well do, you can actually run the characterized data set. And you can run from this, you can go to the describe and characterize this data set. And just the way we've got information in the first instance, you can click characterize data, go next, select graph and this, get the basic information, use 10 data points, you click finish. You can see the characterized data set for 2010. These are what we've gotten. And if you look at the numeric distribution, we've got 128 data points. And you know, in the overall data point is 617. But in this, for 2010, is 128 transactions that happens in the organization. And this is the mean value, 97.87, and so forth like that. Now, we can as well run the visualization of this. We can run the visualization of this. You can double click this again, the 2010. Then you go to graph. Let's run the pie charts wizard. You go next, select category. We are looking at the profit. You look at the sum. Say okay. You go next. Let's use as percentage inside 3D. Next. you put J Robbins 2010 profit performance by then remember this ampersand select category, sorry please, I need. So the next thing we do, so you can highlight this, take off this, then you go finish. So you can run this and look at by country. Let's look at the customer country. Then you click run. You can see the distribution. J Robbins 2010 profit performance by customers country. The US have the maximum sales. So then the next thing we can do, let's do 2011. Come up here. You go back to the J Robbins profit. Double click this. You go to the query builder. You drag this and we go to filter. On the filter, you select other dates, other days, then the operator is going to still be in range. Then select this date range and you go next, then finish. So what do? We sort by date as well in ascending order. So remember, before running this, you write J Robbins 2011 profits. Can come this way, J Robbins 2011. You can just, I think, J Robbins 2011. You come this way. So we have J Robbins 2011 here as well. J Robbins 2011. Click save. Then you click run. So in this case, you identify it by 11. You come here, you identify it by 11. Yeah, so you run this. Now you can see the J11 is here. We've got it here this way. So what you can do, you can as well still go to the describe, characterize data. You run this through to get insight about what you've gotten as well. Use 10 data points. Click finish. So you can see. So the same approach will be used for the rest of the years. So lastly, let's run the visualization as well. You go to graph, you go to pie chart wizard, you go next, you select category, you use the profit, you use sum, go next, you select inside, next, no back, 3D. So as we get, so J Robbins 2011 profit performance by, then remember this, select category. You can wipe this out, finish. Then, so we'll still run it by country so that we can compare 2010 to 2011 and 2010. Now, you can see this is the J. Robbins 2011 profit performance by customers country. Then the same, you can still come back here and look at it. This is for the 2010. Because US has 47.46% in 2010, and 2011 US has 45.50. Now the overall performance is in this. US has for the country, so I need to refresh this and make it country so that it looks similar. So country, then you run by customer country. You can see US has 43 points. So in this business, it is very certain that US is taking the lead. So more of the customers of JB Robbins is coming from US. And by the time you run 2012 and 2013, 2014, using the same approach, we'll be able to get more insight on that. I will leave that for us, for every one of us to run. And in the next tutorial, based on the report, on this report given to the CEO, I believe we'll get more scenarios to work on, and you should be ready for this. It's going to be an interesting journey in using SAS Enterprise Guide to run through scenario-based approach. Now, please subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my video, like this video, so that when the next scenario comes up, you'll be the first person to have it. Thank you very much.